Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Crystal. This is turn 4. We're playing Ecruteak City. Let's jump into things. So, another very risky turn for us. Last turn we expanded in 3 different provinces, and we were fortunately very successful. 2 provinces, 0 losses. The 3rd province, quite a few losses, but acceptable. This turn, well, we'll see. So, starting off with our god again, Shambolic. Alright, we have our god Casper arrayed with his Gengar versus some Paras, which are very meh. They do have an Absorb, right, which is magic damage, so that's potentially a problem for us. And we've got Caterpies, which are absolutely not a threat at all. Growliths, very sparing few, 3 of them, which do, again, have a magic attack, so that is potentially dangerous. Hoots, who have a Hypnosis, which does no damage, so not really a big problem. But the Grunts themselves... Oh, actually, no. These aren't the ones. Fine. I feel like some of these have... Maybe these are officers. These aren't Team Rocket Grunts. Team Rocket Grunts are priests, so they can be very dangerous for us. So let's watch what happens. Cast Resist Magic. And we have Resist Magic on, by the way, just in case we run into anything that does do... Because a lot of the Pokemon have very... they have ranged attacks that are based off of your magic resistance. So just making sure that our guy doesn't get confused or messed with in some way, shape, form, or fashion, it's just an extra layer of defense. So anyways, our Gengar head forward, start up their thing. We start unleashing the undead hordes. We actually lose a Gengar very quickly. And then our skeletons kind of bolster our front line. And the HP starts to turn in our favor. And then there we go. Alright, so easy win for our god in Shambolic against 37. Not too bad. We have Gol Amrod. This is our big fight, right? So this is a bunch of Ghastlies versus... Ooh, okay. Versus a fair amount of Rattatas. The Rattatas are not a concern at all. Grunt Acolytes, and these are the priests. They are a problem. Pidgeys, which have this range 30 Gust, which is magic, and every Gust can basically straight up kill a Ghastly. So these are definitely a problem. And then the Far-Fetched, which have this Air Slash, and if an Air Slash hits, it's definitely going to kill a Ghastly. So this is very potentially dangerous. So let's see how things go. So the particles start spewing out, right? The Rattatas come in and they just get wiped immediately. So no big deal there. And I think had this remained a ranged battle, we probably would have lost. We probably would have been in a whole lot of trouble. But we have a huge force that runs forward, and it kind of distracts the Farfetch'd for a second, right? Before we are able to kind of thin the line, and as soon as a couple... Because the Farfetch'd are 20 HP... As soon as we pop a couple of the Farfetch'd, with all the Rattatas already gone, the Pidgeys have so little HP that they just rout. Done. Also, something that we didn't really see was all of those Zubats flew into the back line and accomplished basically nothing and got killed. Easy peasy. So, battle in Gol Amrod, we lost 34 Ghastlies, which is a fair number. That's half our teams. So that's a big loss, but we took Gol Amrod, which is without a doubt going to be the most valuable province that we are going to be able to get our hands on in the short term. Okay? Then we have a battle in Small Sea, and this is just our mercenaries, the Starmy Riders, against some tentacles and tentacruels. So let's watch. Okay. So the tentacles, nothing really impressive. Very low HP, a very minor poison sting that does acid damage, and a strict. Okay. Very low damage, very low threat. The tentacruels actually are not as strong as I thought they were. I remembered incorrectly, or they got nerfed. I'm not sure. Maybe they got buffed. I'm not sure. Their HP, I think the problem here is their HP is abysmal for what they should be, right? Definitely needs to be more of like a 20 HP type situation. You take something like a Far-Fetched has 20 HP, but a Tentacruel has 14 HP. It just doesn't feel right or good in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But they do have a wide range of attacks, one of the most threatening being this Hydro Pump. Part of the issue, though, for them is this Hydro Pump, and that's not in this case, right? But just in general, right? This Hydro Pump is not magic, so it makes it kind of and it's very low precision. So while it does potentially hit hard, because it's not magic and it's low precision, I don't think Tentacruels are very good. Okay? Anyways, they might not need to be good because there's not very many of what we're going up or what they're going up against. So we've got our Psy waving happening, right? So boop 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 boop. Each one kind of like tends to either kill or seriously wound a tentacle. And I fucked up. I need to do this again. I almost fucked this up twice. I don't think I have the Warden on Stay Behind Troops, right? I think I have the Warden on Fire, which means the Warden came very, very close and decided to fire at whatever she wanted to fire at, which is dangerous. However, she does actually defend herself fairly well. All the Tentacruels get popped. And the Starmy Riders move forward. As the Tentacruels are moving forward, they're out of ammunition now, and they just get winnowed. They never actually even make it. Had they made it, they might have been dangerous enough to do some damage, but they never even actually make it to the line. They're destroyed by Psy Waves. Okay. So, oh, and we have a famous hero. The Miracle Warden is now a famous hero. We, once again, are incredibly lucky in our expansion. And, oh boy, hello, Cyanwood City. Which, double hello, Cyanwood City's god. So, we can see here, this is Om Nom 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 Nom, the shiny Snorlax, which is definitely the god of Cyanwood City, which is cool. Shiny Snorlax. Snorlax, I think, is actually kind of secret OP. Maybe not secret OP. It's very strong. Awake Expander. I have done some like single player games and had great effect with an awakened Snorlax. Really good. I think it's likely that Cyanwood City is right here. Okay. It makes sense that Cyanwood is on the coast because it's the land of crashing waves and they do have swimmers. Okay. And I think the pattern of expansion makes the most sense for their capital to be here rather than here. The reason being, again, this is turn 4, so if they held on turn 1, which is likely, and then on turn 2, with their god and with an expansion force, they declared attack orders, and then on 3, they arrived here and here. On 4, they arrived here and here. Now, what bothers me is I can't really see much of what's going on here. Okay? So you can see we're kind of making a couple dicey decisions this turn, as we have been, because why stop now? We're at a very good point, right? I talked about this last turn. If we are successful on this turn, this is going to put us at 7 provinces on turn 4. If we are at 7 provinces on turn 4, we have very good expansion, right? Good expansion is 5 provinces, right here what Cyanwood is doing, 5 provinces on turn 4. And the concept that you're going to be able to expand at least 2 provinces every turn thereafter. Because, okay, if we are, our expansion is very dicey in a lot of different situations. It is very, very likely that this next turn or a turn after, right, our expansion is going to tank, and we're going to have turns where we don't expand at all or where we only expand once. So getting these early expansions is very important. Okay? So that's why we are going to be maneuvering in the way that we are. So, first with our mercenary, which we are not rehiring. We are going to, and let me go ahead and let me set this up with stay behind troops. Full fire, or I want fire closest. I'm only gonna put it like really far back. We'll see how that goes. So what we're trying to do here is we're just trying to make use of these mercenaries. Okay, I had thought about maybe going for 26, right? I think it is more likely that we would win at 26 rather than at 32 in the Sea of Mermaids. I think these sea trolls with regeneration and a kraken are going to kill these Starmies. But we'll see, right? Sea trolls don't tend to have very good magic resistance. We get a couple of good barrages of psi waves on the right targets, and suddenly the sea trolls get winnowed pretty quickly. The sea trolls get into melee, and suddenly they get hit with 14, 7, 13, right? So there is the chance that this is going to work out for us. I think more likely we're probably going to lose, right? But if we are successful, we do a very good job of establishing this area, right, as kind of our control. The capstone being is if we could ensure mins, then that would be the big deal. I think my assumption is that if Cyanwood is here, then someone is probably right here in 48 or right here in 51. I played this map before, and actually I was previously here in 62, and my enemy was actually in 51. I think it was very awkward, but is what it is. It's kind of hard to tell that this is a province, actually. Anyways, so we're moving our mercenaries into the Sea of Mermaids and kind of just crossing our fingers there. If we win, that's really great. If not, it's whatever. We are also moving Casper into the second forest. This is a little risky. I think this is pretty consistent on what we're looking at here. This should be about 40 units. It's held for several turns at about 40 units. Snubbles and Shuckles can be dangerous. Shuckles can be dangerous because they have a bug bite. And I'm not sure if it works this way, but it's 2 times damage against demons, right? I believe. I don't know if that's going to count against the Gengars. I don't think it should, but I know there's some overlap in like items or things like that where like some items affect demons and undead, but I don't know if that's specifically needs to be called out. I'm not sure if this is a bad idea or not. But we're going to see. The Snubbles I'm less worried about, but they do have fear, which shouldn't be a problem for us. Also have fear. More fear. But I don't know. But we'll see. This might be a little dicey, but I think it's probably going to be fine. I wanted to go for Anvast instead. Oops, sorry about that. I wanted to go for Anvast instead, but I didn't have the movement. And then we're making probably the riskiest, or likely to fail move here in Gol Amrod. So what we're actually doing is we're taking Weldon, our prophet, and the shattered remnants of this army. We only have 18 Ghastlies here because some of them fled over to Wesh. And I think maybe 1 or 2 fled back to our capital. But we have 18 Ghastlies here, and we are moving into Dumna. And we want to move into Dumna because we want to... I don't want Cyanwood City to move into Dumna and take 1, 2, 3 when we've only got 1 province away from our cap. Right? Perfectly fine with this being a 1, 2, 3, 4 situation, right? And really what it is it's a 1, 2, 3 mission. So this is how the game's kind of like spacing things. But water's wonky. So land border, I want to take Dumna because I think it projects our power. I'd like to take these 2 right here. And then as far as I'm concerned, Cyanwood City can he can have this throne and battle it out with whatever in this lane. Great. Fantastic. Not worried about it. I don't know what his bless is. I don't know if he has a bless. I do know that prodigies, right? Let's take a look real quick. Prodigies start off hitting very hard with mediocre stats, okay? But they spawn a Machop at the beginning of every turn as well. The Machops are pretty weak, very low HP. They have a couple of attacks. They can be dangerous. If he has a bunch of them, they could be really dangerous. But they are a little pricey at 35 gold, so he shouldn't be able to have too many of them. However, Cyanwood City has gone through a lot of changes since I last played them. Hitmonlees are way more affordable. He might be trying to expand. Well, I guess he couldn't have too many of them. And Hitmonchans no longer have magic attacks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. I guess they kind of do though. I don't know. That's weird. I'm concerned that we're gonna bump and he's gonna kill the shit out of me. But even if he doesn't bump us here in Dumna, there's still definitely the chance that we lose because we're going into a fight with very low HP units versus medium HP units, Ghouls and Soulless, who way outnumber us. The only reason I am even trying this is because Weldon is a prophet and I can spam Stellar Decree. And because Ghouls and Soulless do not have magic weapons, so my hope is that while I am spamming Stellar Decree, my Ghastlies, who are ethereal and invisible, are able... I don't know if invisible is going to matter because the Ghouls... Does Ghouls or Soulless have... Ghouls? Let's check real quick. Ghoul... They have Dark Vision, but they don't have Spirit Sight. Soulless... Also, Dark Vision, but not Spirit Sight. So that should be fine, right? Because Invisible is only... Yeah, only Spirit Sight. So, they should have a very hard time hitting the Ghastlies in combination with Invisible and Ethereal, and I'm hoping we're gonna just obliterate them before they can actually do anything. That's the hope. Do not know that that's gonna happen. I think it is likely... We've done 2 3-province expansions. I do not think we succeed on a 3rd. I don't think it's possible. I think come turn 5, we're gonna have 8 or 9 provinces, not 10. But if we came to turn 5 and it was 10 provinces, oh boy, I would feel very nice. I already feel very nice about what we're doing. We've been very, very fortunate so far. So to kind of round off our fortune, what we're doing is we are site searching with Blue Chan 1 here in Gol Amrod. And the plan is to next turn, because we actually have a decent amount of income. This is a decent amount of income for Ecruteak. We actually have a decent amount of income. Next turn, we plan to start building in Gol Amrod. The concept for building with Ecruteak City, as far as I can tell, is basically to temple and fort every province that you can whenever you can. Because templing something and forting something drastically increases the amount of ghastlies that you get out of it. Is big deal. Big deal. So we really want to do that as quickly as possible. And we are not super... Obviously, we want to have forts and temples in good strategic locations, but we're not super picky about it, especially not to begin with, right? Basically, just establishing that we have them is going to generate more power for us. We just have to ferry troops back and forth. And that's going to be a large portion of what we're doing with Ecruteak City anyways. So, speaking of ferrying things, right? In Ecruteak City, we are actually recruiting another kimono woman and another medium. And that is because we need more units to be able to ferry things around. Obviously, we want to get our research up and running. But it's more important for us to have mobility to start with than it is for research. Research we can turn on once we have multiple locations that can produce mages. It's just we have to secure those locations first, and to do that, we have to have troop leaders to go around, gather troops, etc. One of which we're doing right now with Kimono 1. We are heading down into Wesh to pick up these units while bringing these 19 units. And the plan there is once we are in Wesh, we'll have 19 units plus, these 8. So that's going to be 27 units. If we are successful in Dumna, we could conceivably combine the armies here in Histria to take out these Snubbles and Chuckles. Possibility. So we will see how that goes. We also want, rather than getting 2 kimono women, we want a couple of mediums to start with, because the mediums do defense organization, and also because they are priests, so they can build temples. So as soon as we get done with this one, we're probably going to bring it out over to Gol Amrod, take over construction, let Blue Chan 1 start site searching in locations, etc., etc. So, and then we're saving our money this turn because, like I said, we want to try to start building in Gol Amrod next turn. Okay, so that's it for the turn. Very simple. Strategically, I think we're likely to lose in Sea of Mermaids, and I think we're likely to lose in Dumna, either from bad luck with the Ghouls and Solus, or from a bump with Cyanwood City. Because I think it likely that Cyanwood City did not make the same mistake that I made in not taking magic weapons. But one can hope, because if Cyanwood City didn't take magic weapons, we might have a very, in theory, a good first target, basically. I think if, in my Cyanwood City game, I think if the Ecruteak player had stuck around and been aggressive, I think that they could have, once I was in the war with Olivine City, I think they could have just washed over me like that, without issue. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alright, that's going to be it for this turn. Nothing really special else happening. No mercenaries. We didn't get someone, by the way. That was filched from us by Viridian City. We're going to keep our eyes on mercenaries, though, because... well, because... I really, I'm torn. I really want to, yeah, we'll buy the Miracle Patrol again, but the money is so incredibly important for me. The fact that I spent 250 on them to begin with is incredibly painful. And you might be like, yeah, but they're taking provinces for you. Yeah, but they took an 8 income province and a 20 income province. And this 8 income problem isn't going to stay 8 income for very long, right? So, yes, they're establishing borders for me, and that is important. But the return on investment as far as actual gold is pretty low. So, I don't think we can swing the cost, even though it's halved, right? Only 125. I don't think we can swing the cost again, or justify it again. If they do their job here, good, great, congratulations. They can move on with their lives. Otherwise, good to go. All right, that's it for the turn. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.